everybody, I hope you're all well. So today's video is some tips for lifting your mood. So little things that you can kind of fit into your day if you're out and about doing something, or whatever you're doing basically. If you're at work, if you're at home, whatever, they're sort of things that I think you can do sort of wherever you are. It's kind of following on from the self-care videos and stuff that I've done in the past. So I wanted to do one that is quite like stuff that's quite adaptable and easy to fit in, so that you can potentially lift your mood if you're feeling quite low or anxious or whatever it might be, or having a bit of a tough day. But you don't need to say, like, I don't know, go off to a spa or whatever to lift your mood. It's just like little things that hopefully can help and that you can fit into the day. So let's get started. So the first one, number one, go back to the water. Now, this comes from a post that Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of, I think she wrote is it called Big Magic, and Eat, Pray, Love, and many other wonderful books. And I find her really, really inspiring. She writes beautifully, and I just love her whole kind of ethos and outlook on life. And she says, go back to the water. And it's come from a friend of hers who suggested that when you're feeling low or not feeling very good, you kind of use water as a way to heal you. So maybe having like a shower or a bath, or going for a swim, or something really simple like just splashing your face with water. So if you're at the office, or like dabbing your face with some water, or something you can do if you feel quite hot, if you're quite overwhelmed, maybe you feel quite warm, you can run your wrists just here underneath cold water, underneath like the cold tap, and that helps it kind of go. I don't know exactly the science behind it, but I think it kind of is because you've got the veins here, and it helps to cool your whole body down. So that could really help you if you're feeling quite hot and quite overwhelmed. So basically it's just the idea of water being very soothing and healing, and I find it's very helpful to do stuff like that. If I'm very upset or something, maybe I'll splash my face with water just to sort of refresh myself and breathe a bit. And then if you have more time on your hands, or you're at home, you can have a quick shower or a bath, or you maybe go for a swim or something if you're able to do that. But there's many ways that you can go back to the water. Next, breathe. So try some, maybe just first take a breath out, so rather than breathing in, because I think breathing in, you're holding everything in. So if you're feeling quite stressed or anxious or low, you could take a big deep breath out and let everything go. Another breathing technique you can use is 7-11 breathing. You can pretty much do this anywhere. So you breathe in through the nose for 7 counts, and you breathe out through the mouth for 11 counts. And that you can do that for her as long as you need, and that should help to calm you down or make you feel a bit better. If you have a bit more time, or if you are able to take yourself off somewhere, maybe go to the toilets or go to another room or something, there are lots of meditations you can do that are very short. So there's one on Headspace, which is an SOS meditation, and I think that is about 2 minutes long. So it's definitely feasible to be able to do it. And it just calms you if you're really feeling panicked or stressed or anxious or whatever. So there's also meditations that you can do that are quite short that you can help. If you can't do that, then you can do your 7-11 breathing instead. Next point, acceptance. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about today, or these tips today, they're about kind of doing something about that mood or changing that mood. But the other thing you can do is kind of just say to yourself, okay, this is how I feel in this moment. Maybe not if you're really, really panicked, because I guess that then it might freak you out a bit. But you could say, okay, I'm having a bit of a low mood today. That's just how I feel. It doesn't always work, but it's something that you can try, and sometimes accepting how you're feeling in that moment actually makes you feel a bit more peaceful. You're like, cool, this is just how I feel. That's fine. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay that I feel like this in this moment. So sometimes that can help, just accepting how you feel in that moment. Okay, next, number 4. So listening to your favourite music. So I find music can be really, really brilliant. I know if I want cheering up, I put on there's like a playlist called like Pride Classics, and some absolutely great tunes on there, and have a little dance around if I'm in the flat, or I put something on while I'm walking. You could save like songs and playlists and stuff to be downloaded, so you can listen to them when you're like maybe on the tube or wherever you are. You can listen to them if you need to. You could get together some like go-to songs that make you feel great. I love like Beyonce, and like listening to Hamilton, the musical, and stuff like that. There's loads of songs from Beyonce's songs and from the musical that make me feel absolutely great. And and they're just really like uplifting, and they make it feel absolutely brilliant. And so you could do something like that. And I think you could probably listen to music maybe if you're in an office. You could take charge of like the music that's on. It's like in the bar, you could maybe put, like where I work, you put music on. Sometimes somebody puts like more upbeat music on, so that's fun. Or maybe you could just put your headphones in. Or if you have a break, you could go off and spend that break listening to something, like listening to a song that would cheer you up. So there's lots of ways you could do that, I guess. Number 5, move your body. So this could either be exercise, it could be about going to the gym, it could be whatever, but it could just be just standing up from your desk or moving around. So you could stand up and take a quick walk around maybe the office, or you can stand up and just stretch your body a bit, just do a few like basic stretches, just try and touch your toes, and a few really basic things. Just loosen your body up a bit. A stretch can be really helpful, can't it? You sort of get your body moving a bit again. Maybe if you have a lunch break or a break, maybe you could spend a few minutes going for a walk, change your environment, go somewhere else just for a few minutes, but stretch your legs. I often find getting up and moving around really helps a lot, and even really little amounts of sort of exercise and movement can really lift your mood. So I find that to be really, really helpful. It can refresh you as well. So yeah, move your body. Number 6, have a drink. Now, I don't necessarily mean like go and have a beer or whatever. You could do that if you want, I guess. I mean more, are you dehydrated? Have you had enough to drink today? Sometimes we get headaches, or we feel really low or whatever, and it can be because actually we're not looking after our very basic needs of needing water and needing food. So have a water bottle. I carry my water bottle around with me. Maybe you could keep that on you. If not, get a glass of water. I'm sure you can stop work or for a second or whatever to have a glass of water, or you can do that if you're at home or wherever you are. Grab some water. Make sure you're hydrated. Another nice thing to do is have a warm drink. We're starting to get into that season a bit more now, aren't we, of having warmer drinks. And there's something a bit nice about the ritual of like maybe boiling a kettle, putting a tea bag in. It's sort of a quieter moment that you can have for yourself. I recommend mint tea and ginger teas rather than maybe coffee and stuff like that. If you're feeling anxious, probably having the caffeine may not help as much. I know I find if I'm feeling anxious that having caffeine doesn't help me. Maybe it does. But also if you're feeling dehydrated, it might be better to drink something that will hydrate you rather than sort of add to that. So mint tea is really, really good. It's great for any like stomach issues, any anxiety. Peppermint can really help to calm. Ginger is really, really good as well. Help with any nausea, any stomach stuff. Again, very calming. Those are my 2 like go-tos if I'm feeling a bit stressed out. Mint tea and ginger tea I find to be really brilliant, and they kind of settle you a bit. So I really recommend that. And then a chamomile tea is also good as well. You know, it's quite well known for being good to have before bed. Maybe if you had quite a stressful day or something, you could also make yourself a nice cup of chamomile or mint or ginger or whatever it is that you want to make so you can put the day to bed, and you can kind of relax into your evening, kind of have that as a separation. So number 7, laugh or cry. Now, I find both laughing and crying to be very healing. So you could maybe watch something for a few minutes, a comedian, or listen to a podcast, or whatever it is maybe that makes you really laugh, and listen to that either while you're working or on your breaks or when you're walking around, or take a few minutes break from the work that you're doing at home to do something like to listen to something like that, or maybe podcasts you can put on while you're working. It depends how you work, I guess, but you could probably put on I've sometimes put on podcasts while I'm working, things that will make me laugh, sort of lift my mood a bit. And laughing is really, really healing, isn't it? Laughing and smiling is, I think it does actually release endorphins. I'm not sure about that, but I think it does. And it lifts your mood and can really help. And also, on the opposite side of that, if you're really finding things a bit too much and you just feel this real build-up of emotion and tension, maybe you can take yourself off for a few minutes and just have a little cry, because it can really build sort of here, it can really sit here when you feel really, really emotional and really upset, and it's very difficult to, it's like a blockage, I feel. It's difficult to get rid of that when you haven't been able to release it. So can you go off somewhere, or can you just allow yourself that time just to let that emotion out? Sometimes, like I said about happy music that I listen to, sometimes I will listen to a song that I know will make me cry, song I find really moving, and I will put that on and just say, right, okay, this is your time, let it out. And I do that, and I let the emotion out. And I think it can be really healing and very soothing, and actually afterwards you sort of feel like a bit of a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. So 2 options there, laughing or crying. So 2 things you can sort of do. Next, eat. Are you eating enough? What are you eating throughout the day? We can get really caught up in what we're doing, and we forget, again, like with having a drink, we can forget our basic needs. We need to eat, we need to drink. Are we relying on foods that really spike our sugar levels? And then when that's gone, when that sort of lifted that, what's it called? What is it called? When it, like, you spike, don't you? And so you get like bursts of energy, and then when that's finished, you like drop right back down again. Is that the sort of food that we're relying on throughout the day? If so, can we make like maybe some healthier choices, some things that, like, eat some foods that will keep us fuller for longer, eat some foods that will not affect our mood so much, because I think those energy spikes can really affect your moods and can make you feel a lot lower when you have that big drop. So like caffeine and lots of sugar and stuff like that can really affect that. So can we have things that are more, give you more sustainable energy? I was just thinking like windmills and stuff when I said sustainable energy. I mean within us. Can you have like nuts and seeds and whatever, I don't know, a banana, or, do you know, something like that rather than like a donut? Can we have more of those things to help us throughout the day? I think it's quite useful to pack like little snacks, like healthier snacks in your bag. For me, if I don't eat for a while, I get very low and I actually feel quite ill. I feel quite faint and stuff like that, so I pack snacks with me in my bag, sort of healthier snacks to keep me like sustained throughout the day. And I'm terrible for getting up and like doing stuff and forgetting to eat for ages, and then I wonder why I feel rubbish. It's because I just haven't eaten. So it's definitely like a basic need, but I'm sure a lot of us sort of forget to do it. So make sure that you're looking after yourself. It's important to look after yourself. Feed yourself with good nourishing foods, and then you are of course allowed to treat yourself with like nice little things, whatever it is. You can have, say, I've had a rough day, I'm going to have some of this, whatever it is, I don't know, chocolate, whatever it is too. But yeah, look after yourselves. Okay, now next, get some rest. So if you're maybe self-employed and you have some time at home, can you lie down for 10 minutes? You know, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling low, can you take like 10 minutes, even maybe put like a timer on, or set an alarm for 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later? Can you take that time out of your day to rest and look after yourself? And actually, I used to go to an osteopath quite a long time ago now. I had a really bad back, and it was from studying and leaning over a desk. And the osteopath said to me, do you ever take naps? I didn't. He said, try 20-minute naps, and it relieves the tension in your back and in your muscles. So sometimes I do that if I'm feeling like stressed or achy or whatever. I'll just be like, right, I'm going to have 10 to 20 minutes. I don't think you should have longer than half an hour, because I think it puts you into a sleep cycle and then you wake up feeling like really groggy. But if you do have the time to have that little rest of 10 to 20 minutes, it can be really beneficial. It can relax you, and you can wake up feeling a lot more energized than you did when you were going to sleep. So that can be really helpful. Perhaps if you're at work, you can't really do that. Can you do some of the breathing instead? Can that be part of your rest? Or a bit of meditation to maybe reset the mind? Can that be part of the rest? Or maybe on your break, just sitting a bit quietly. You know, we often want to chat to people at work and stuff, and well, I want to chat to people at work, but sometimes, you know, when we all have our breaks, we're all sort of sitting quite quietly, and I think it's because we're kind of replenishing our energy by just being with ourselves. So that maybe could be an option as well. And then my last one, number 10, you could write down how you're feeling. So you could just scribble out stream of consciousness. You could just scribble out whatever it is you're feeling at that time, write it down. You don't even have to look at it again. You don't have to do anything with it. You just write it out. You can write it out and then rip it up and throw it away. A ritual that you can do, if there's something that this is a bit of a separate thing really, because it's probably something you wouldn't do in an office, but you can write out how you're feeling, something maybe that you want to let go of, and you can burn it. But that's probably something that you do not want to do in the office. So that's kind of I maybe do another video on kind of like letting go of things. But if there's things that you just want to get out of your head, just something that you're feeling you want to get out of your head, and maybe you feel like you're getting quite cross or something like that, and you don't want to take it out on anybody, so maybe you just take a few minutes, write down how you're feeling. And it can be quite nice, because you can feel like you've just let that feeling out, you've let those thoughts out of your head, and you just can feel a bit better. And then you can just rip it up and throw it away. You don't have to keep it. You don't even have to look at what you've read. You can just throw it away. And then there's something about that which sort of helps you to let go of that feeling. So I'm going to run through those 10 things quickly again. So we've got go back to the water, breathe, acceptance, listen to your favourite music, exercise, have a drink, laugh or cry, eat, get some rest, and write it down. So those are the 10 things, 10 tips to help lift your mood. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any other tips that you use to lift your mood, let me know. I'd love to hear them. It's always really useful, and like some of these things are like things that our friends and I have exchanged ideas. Or somebody said to me, try this, try that. So it's always really useful and lovely to hear your thoughts. So let me know your tips for like lifting your mood. And I hope everyone has a lovely weekend, and I will see you next week. Oh, don't forget to subscribe, and if you enjoy this video, and like and comment, and goodbye everybody.